The moment my key refused to turn in the lock of my mountain cabin, I knew someone had crossed the line. But I never expected it to lead straight into a conspiracy. When I pulled into the gravel driveway of my mountain cabin, I expected peace. But when my key refused to fit the lock, I knew something was terribly wrong. Taped crookedly to the door was a laminated notice stamped with HOA letterhead. It claimed my property had been secured due to non-compliance. My stomach turned cold. Of course, it was Tricia Sandwell, the self-declared queen of the neighborhood. She'd been after me for years, all because of petty violations. But this time, she crossed the line. Instead of calling her, I called the sheriff. An hour later, Deputy Halverson stood by my cabin door snapping photos of the new lock. He didn't look amused. And then, like she had a radar for trouble, Tricia's white SUV pulled up. She stepped out, sunglasses on, clipboard in hand, wearing her HOA jacket like it was a badge of honor. She smiled like she owned the place, claiming it was all within her authority, but Deputy Halverson cut her off cold. The HOA wasn't the law, and she was in trouble. The longer we talked, the more nervous she became, and I hadn't even told the deputy about my hidden security camera footage yet. When the deputies finally opened the door, the cabin smelled stale, the curtains drawn tight. At first, nothing seemed disturbed until we reached the den. My locked cabinet had been pried open. Papers were scattered across the table. Land surveys, boundary maps, the very documents Tricia had been after. When we stepped back out, Tricia tried to spin excuses, but the deputies pressed harder. She had no authority and now no defense. As she argued, I noticed a curtain twitch from a cabin across the way. The neighbors had begun to watch. Her perfect facade was collapsing in public. Later, the locksmith returned my access and handed me an envelope. Inside was an invoice, Tricia's name signed at the bottom, proof she'd ordered the break-in. The next morning, I found an unmarked letter in my mailbox clipped to a USB drive. Inside were audio recordings, Tricia plotting to force me off my land. Her voice was clear as day. We'll change the locks, call it fire safety, and make him cooperate. It wasn't petty anymore. It was a conspiracy. By the end of the week, Tricia wasn't running the HOA. She was being investigated by the county prosecutor, and for the first time, the neighborhood saw her for what she really was.